The first rule Dad taught me about predators isn't how to fight. It's how to think. Because out here, fear makes people loud. It makes them reckless. It makes them do stupid things. Fast. This morning, the chickens stopped making noise at the wrong hour. And in the frost beside the coop, we found tracks. Not wandering tracks. Not curious tracks. Tracks that moved like hunger had a plan. So tonight, we do what families like ours have always done. We watch. We listen. And we learn if the dark is only dark, or if it's watching back. The day after processing is always a strange one. Your body wakes up heavy, like it's still carrying the work. Muscles sore in places you didn't notice yesterday. Hands a little stiff. Mind unusually quiet. I stand at the kitchen window with my mug, watching a clean sunrise take shape over the ridge. The air looks cold enough to crack. Mom's voice is behind me. "Did you sleep?" I nod. Like a rock. Dad snorts softly from the table. Good winter rewards people who can sleep. Mary pushes past me to look out the window. "It's going to freeze hard tonight." Bram is already at the counter picking at his breakfast like it's a negotiation. He looks up. "Do we have to do chores extra early today?" Dad stands. "No, normal, calm. And we check on the animals first." The last part, check the animals first, is new. Not because we didn't check before. We always do. But Dad's tone has that subtle edge. The one that means something is already on his mind. I pull on my jacket and step outside. The cold hits like truth. The yard crunches under my boots. Frost makes everything louder. Every step is a statement. The barn is quiet, but it's a comfortable quiet. Goats shifting, sheep breathing, cows heavy and calm. Then I hear it. Not a scream, not a panic. Just wrongness. A hush from the direction of the coop. Chickens are normally ridiculous. They complain about everything. They narrate their day like they're paid by the noise. But right now, nothing. I turn my head and look. The coop is still. The run is still. The fence line is still. It's not that the chickens are asleep. They're awake. I can feel that. They're just listening. I start walking that way, slow, and that's when I see it. In the frost, near the edge of the run, pressed into the white like a signature, are tracks. I stop. My breath comes out thin. I don't call out yet. I don't rush. I crouch and look closer. They're not dog tracks, not wandering, playful, half-distracted tracks. These are clean, intentional. The spacing is even. The line is direct, like something moved in a straight thought. I hear Dad behind me before I see him. He doesn't ask. What is it? Because he can already read my posture. He comes up beside me and crouches silent. For a moment, neither of us speaks. Then Dad says, quiet. How old? I scan the edges of the print. The frost is crisp. There's no melt in it. Night, I say. Maybe early morning. Dad nods once. Mary arrives like a gust. What? What is it? Dad holds up a hand. Without looking at her. She stops anyway. Barely. Mom appears next, moving fast but controlled, pulling her coat tighter. Bram trails behind, rubbing his arms like he already knows he doesn't like whatever this is. Dad points with 2 fingers. Look, but don't step. Mary crouches, eyes sharp. It's a cat. Dad glances at her. Why do you say that? Mary leans closer, like she's reading a word. No claw marks, and it's rounder. Dad's mouth twitches. Good. Bram swallows. A cat like a cougar? Nobody answers him immediately. That's the answer. Mom steps closer, careful not to disturb the line. How close does it come? Dad stands and looks at the coop, then at the timber beyond. It walked the perimeter, he says. Then it stopped here. He points to a patch of frost where the tracks pause and then continue. It listened, Dad adds. Mary whispers, almost impressed. Like hunting. Mom's gaze flicks to her. Not impressed, aware. Mary's cheeks color, but she nods. Bram shifts his weight. Did it take one? Dad walks to the coop and checks the latches without speaking. The chickens inside begin to cluck softly, as if realizing the morning might be safe again. Dad opens the small access door and counts with his eyes. 1, 2, 3. He closes it and turns back. All here, he says. Bram exhales so hard it's almost a sob. Mom watches Bram's face and puts a hand on his shoulder. Your body's doing what it's supposed to do, she tells him soft. Fear is information. We just don't let it drive. Bram nods like he's trying to believe her. Dad looks at me. Follow the line. I nod. Mary says, I can... Dad cuts her off with one word, no. Mary bristles. I'm not a baby. Dad's eyes stay steady. I know. That's why you'll obey. She opens her mouth, then closes it. Her nostrils flare. Mom steps in without taking sides, voice calm. Mary, you'll help where we need you, not where your pride wants to go. Mary mutters. My pride isn't... Mom lifts an eyebrow. Mary stops. Dad gestures with his chin toward the trees. Ciaran. I follow the tracks slowly, careful not to step on them. They lead away from the coop in a straight line toward the edge of the timber. Not a zigzag, not curious, direct. I feel my skin tighten the way it does when you realize you're not the only one tracking. At the timberline, the tracks pause again. I'm almost imperceptible, shuffle, and then disappear into pine needles and shadow. Dad stands beside me, eyes scanning higher than the ground. He's not just looking for tracks, he's looking for presence. He says quietly, it knows our routine. The sentence sits heavy. Mom's voice carries from behind us, firm now. Okay, we adjust the day. Back at the house, Dad lays it out like a plan, not panic. No one goes far alone. Kids stay close. Chickens stay locked until full sun. We'll do chores in pairs. Mary crosses her arms. So we just hide? Dad's gaze snaps to her, still controlled but sharper. We don't hide. We get smart. Mary glares. What's the difference? Dad answers. Hiding is fear. Smart is strategy. Bram asks, small. Is it going to come back? Dad doesn't lie. Maybe. Mom takes over because she knows how to deliver truth without making it feel like doom. It came for an easy meal, she says. We make the meal less easy. Mary perks up. So we fix the coop. Dad nods once. Yes. That's the first time her face relaxes. Work is the antidote to spiraling. We spend the morning reinforcing small things that matter, checking latches, tightening a sag in the run fence, moving anything that could be climbed. Dad doesn't let Mary near the outer perimeter, but he gives her jobs with responsibility, inventorying nails, carrying boards, keeping Bram focused. Bram is jumpy, but useful. He brings tools. He holds a flashlight when Dad asks, hands shaking slightly in the cold. At one point, Bram says, I hate this. Dad doesn't dismiss him. I know. Bram looks up, surprised. Dad adds, you can hate it and still be brave. Bram swallows. Am I brave? Dad's voice is quiet. You're here, aren't you? That's all Bram needs. His shoulders lift. He stands a little taller. By midday, the sun is bright and honest again, and the chickens venture out like they've decided the world isn't allowed to change their schedule. But the feeling in the yard is different now, like we've seen the edge of something. Later, when chores slow down, Dad finally says what I knew he'd say. "We'll do watch tonight." Mary immediately. "I can take a shift." Dad. "No." Mary's head jerks. "Why not?" Dad. "Because you won't stay still. You'll try to prove something." Mary's cheeks flush. "I would not." Mom's voice cuts in, calm but precise. "You climbed the haystack during thunder." Mary. "That was one time." I can't help it. "It was 3. Mary's glare could split wood. "Traitor!" Dad's mouth twitches, almost a smile. "Ciaran and me, first shift. Your mother and me, second, if needed." Bram asks, "Do we sleep?" Dad answers, "We sleep, just lighter." Bram's voice drops. "I don't like sleeping lighter." Mom steps closer to him and adjusts his collar like he's still small enough to be managed that way. "Then you sleep beside the stove tonight," she says. "Warmth helps, and you can hear us in the kitchen if you wake." Bram nods, grateful. Mary watches the whole exchange, jaw tight. I know that look. She wants to be included in the adult circle. She wants to be trusted with real fear. And part of me gets it. Another part of me remembers what Dad said. Night makes people foolish. As afternoon sinks into evening, Mom shifts the house into night mode, the way she always does. Predator or no predator. Lights dim, loud noise down, food simple. She makes soup again, not because she's out of ideas, but because soup is stability. Warm, salt, fat, protein. Something the body recognizes as safe. Dad sharpens a tool at the table. Slow strokes that sound like patience. Mary eats fast and then pushes back. "I'm taking a shift." Dad doesn't look up. "No." Mary's voice cracks with anger. "You're not fair." Dad finally lifts his eyes. "Fair doesn't keep you alive." Mary's hands clench. "So I'm just useless?" Mom's voice softens slightly. "You're not useless. You're 12. Your job is to be strong in the daytime and grow into the night slowly." Mary's eyes flash. "That's stupid." Mom nods once. "Maybe, but it's also true." Mary stands abruptly and storms toward her room. The door shuts hard enough to rattle a picture frame. Bram flinches. Dad's jaw tightens, but he doesn't chase her. He looks at me instead. "She's like you." I blink. "What?" Dad's voice is low, the way you were at 12, like being told no is a personal insult. I can't help it, I laugh quietly. "I'm still like that." Dad's mouth twitches. "Yeah, that's why I'm not sleeping much tonight." Mom stirs the soup and says, almost to herself, "People think living off-grid means you escape the world." She looks up at us. "But you don't escape anything. You just see it closer." That line lands in my chest. After supper, Dad and I step outside. The sky is clear, stars starting to punch through the deepening blue. The air drops fast. Frost returns like a vow. Dad hands me a lantern, dim, warm, not bright enough to shout into the woods. "We don't light ourselves up like a stage," he says. "We listen." We walk the perimeter once, slow. Everything looks normal, and that's always the trick. Trouble doesn't announce itself with music. It just arrives. We take our position near the kitchen window, where we can see the coop and the run without being silhouetted against light. Dad sits on an overturned bucket like it's a throne he didn't want. I lean against the wall, trying to look calm. Inside, I feel wired. It's strange. After processing day, after smoke, after all the work, this is the moment my body wants to panic, because this is waiting. Waiting gives your mind room to invent monsters. Dad speaks quietly, as if we're in church. Breathe through your nose. I do. My breath slows. My shoulders drop a fraction. Light log. Night is clean. Real dark. Stars visible. Body wants to stay alert. Nose breathing helps. Minutes pass. Then more. I start to think maybe the predator won't return. And that's when the chickens go still again. It's subtle, a shift in sound, a change in the air. Dad's head turns slightly. I feel my heart pick up. Then, movement at the far edge of the run. Not inside, outside. A shadow slips between the fence posts like it's made of smoke. Dad's hand lifts, stopping me from moving. We watch. The shape pauses low to the ground, testing. Then it moves again, smooth as water. My mind wants to label it cougar, lynx, something. But at night, you don't get certainty. You get impressions. Dad leans toward me, voice barely there. Don't chase. I nod. The shadow circles, stops, listens. And then it happens. The motion light we installed near the coop, small, solar-fed, one of Dad's grudging concessions to modern convenience, flashes on. The yard floods with sudden white. The shadow freezes. For one heartbeat, I see it clearly enough to know. Cat. Big. Not bear, not coyote. Cat. It turns its head toward the light, eyes catching like coins. My stomach drops. Then it's gone. A smooth vanish into the timber, as if the dark swallowed it. The light stays on for a minute, then clicks off. Silence returns like a held breath. Dad doesn't move for a long time. Neither do I. Finally, Dad exhales. Good. I whisper, good? Dad nods. It left. We didn't get stupid. My throat is tight. It'll come back. Dad's voice is level. Maybe. But now it knows we're not asleep. We sit in quiet again, tension humming under our skin. And this is where my flaw shows up. Because after a while, when nothing happens, my brain starts trying to finish the problem. I want resolution. I want certainty. I want to go out there and confirm it's gone. I shift my weight. Dad notices immediately. Don't. I whisper, I'm just going to check the corner of the run. Dad's eyes lock on mine. No. And that should be the end. But the part of me that hates being told no, especially when fear is involved, pushes forward like a stubborn animal. I tell myself I'm being responsible. I tell myself I'm being brave. I tell myself I'm being smart. The truth? I'm trying to prove something. I step away from the wall. Dad's voice hardens low. Ciaran. I stop, but I don't turn back immediately. Then I hear it. A sound from the timberline. Not loud. Not a roar. A low, soft shift. Like something heavy repositioning its weight. And suddenly the dark feels close. Not empty. Close. My skin goes cold under my jacket. Dad's voice is right behind me now. He moved without sound. Back. I back up. And then for a second, one terrible crystal second, I see the outline again. Not in the yard. Closer than that. Near the corner of the barn, where shadows stack thick. It's watching. Still. Not charging. Just measuring. My pulse slams. Dad's hand grips my shoulder. Not gentle. Not angry. Corrective. Inside, he says. We move together. Slow. Controlled. Not running. The door clicks shut behind us. Inside, the air is warm and smells like ash-free safety. My hands are shaking. I hate that. Dad looks at me, and his eyes are sharp. Not cruel, but disappointed. "You almost walked yourself into a lesson you wouldn't like," he says quietly. I swallow. I thought... Dad cuts me off. "You thought you needed to do something." His voice softens a fraction. "Sometimes the best thing you can do is not add your body to the problem." I stare at the floor. Shame burns hot. Dad lowers his voice. "You want to be the man of the house someday?" I look up. Dad continues. "Then learn this. Bravery isn't movement. Bravery is restraint." That sentence hits harder than the cold did. I nod once. "Yes, sir." Dad's mouth tightens, but his eyes soften again. "Good. Now you sit. Drink water." Mom comes into the kitchen, hair loose, eyes alert. "What happened?" Dad doesn't dramatize. "It came back. The light spooked it. Ciaran tried to check the corner. I stopped him." Mom's gaze flicks to me, not angry, concerned. "Are you okay?" I nod, throat tight. Mom steps close, voice low. "I know that feeling," she says. "The need to finish it, to control it." I blink. "You do?" Mom gives a small, tired smile. "My whole childhood was doctors finishing problems. You learn quickly that not everything finishes on command." That's the most she's ever said about her before life. It's like she realized I needed to hear she's human too. From the hallway, a door creaks. Mary. She stands there in her night sweater, her hair wild, face pale. "You're up," Dad says, not pleased. Mary's voice is small, stripped of pride. "I heard something." Mom steps toward her. "Come here." Mary hesitates, then crosses the kitchen and stands close enough to feel Mom's warmth. Dad looks at her. "You stay inside." Mary nods quickly. "I will." Then she glances at me, eyes wide. "Were you—" "I'm fine," I say, but my voice betrays me. Not fine. Shaken. Mary swallows. "Okay." Bram appears next, half asleep, rubbing his eyes. "Why is everyone awake?" Mom crouches slightly to his level. "We're okay," she says. "Go back to sleep." Bram looks at Dad. "Is it here?" Dad answers honestly. "It was nearby." Bram's lip trembles. "I don't want it to take our chickens." Dad's voice is quiet. "Certain. It didn't. And we're watching." Bram nods, like that's the only sentence in the world that matters. Mom guides the kids back to bed. Dad and I return to the window position. This time, I don't move. This time, I learn. The rest of the night passes in fragments. Silence. Listening. The occasional nervous cluck from the coop. The wind shifting in the trees. Just before dawn, the sky begins to lighten. Gray at first, then blue. And with the first true morning light, my body unclenches. Not because the predator is gone, because my nervous system recognizes day. Dad stands and rolls his shoulders. That's enough. We do a careful check once the sun is up. No damage, no missing birds. Tracks again near the run, further back this time. It came, it watched, it left. Mom meets us by the coop, wrapped in a shawl, face calm but tired. "We'll keep the routine," she says, "but we'll be smarter." Dad nods. We reinforce, we don't chase. Mary steps forward, voice cautious now. "Can I help? In the daytime?" Dad looks at her for a long moment. Then, "Yes." Mary's shoulders drop with relief. Bram appears behind her and asks, "Is it gone forever?" Dad answers, "No." Bram's face falls. Dad adds, "But neither are we." That's the line that stays with me. Not because it sounds heroic, because it's true. Out here, you don't win by being louder than nature. You win by being steadier than your fear. And this time, I learned it the hard way without paying the worst price. Next time, we go deeper into the work that makes winter feel less like a threat and more like a season we're ready for. The root cellar gets stocked, the ferments get checked, the stores get counted, because you can't eat courage. And Mom tells me something about our before life that she's never said out loud. Because on a homestead, the land doesn't just reveal predators, it reveals people. And it reveals the part of us that still need to grow. Next episode, Root Cellar Gospel. You have been listening to Hearth Horizon, a Kootenay Homestead Chronicle. Check back for more episodes and comment below what you want to see next. Thanks for listening.